For years, the truth stayed hidden, the victims forgotten, the cases left cold, until science revealed what time could not. This is Decades in the Dark, where cold cases are brought back to light. December 30th, 2000. In Setagaya, a quiet residential neighborhood of Tokyo, Japan, the Miyazawa family was preparing to ring in the new year. Mikio, the father, was 44 years old, working for a marketing company. His wife Yasuko was 41, a kind woman who taught classes from their home. Their daughter Niina was just 8, energetic and loved by her classmates. Their son Rei, only 6 years old, had a speech disability but was cheerful and adored by his family. That night, everything changed. Sometime after 11:30 p.m., an intruder entered their 2-story home. Investigators believe he climbed a tree to reach a bathroom window on the 2nd floor. Inside, he found little Rei asleep in his bed. The killer strangled him first, silencing the youngest of the family before moving deeper into the house. Then he encountered Mikio. The father was downstairs near the staircase. The two struggled violently in the dark, Mikio fighting to protect his family. The killer stabbed him repeatedly with a sashimi knife. The struggle was so intense the blade snapped. The broken fragment left embedded in Mikio's body. The intruder then went into the family kitchen and calmly retrieved another knife, continuing the brutal assault until Mikio collapsed near the bottom of the stairs. Yasuko and Nina were the last to die. Both were upstairs in a bedroom. Investigators believe Yasuko may have tried to shield her daughter as the killer attacked. They were stabbed again and again, their bodies left side by side. In a matter of minutes, an entire family was gone. But the most chilling part was what came next. Instead of fleeing, the killer stayed inside the house. Hours passed as he made himself at home. He ate ice cream from their freezer, drank tea, logged onto the family's computer and began clicking through files, including Yasuko's lesson materials. Whether he was searching for something or simply passing time, no one knows. At one point he cut himself badly and rummaged through their belongings to find a first aid kit. He used their bandages to wrap his wounds. He changed clothes, leaving his blood-soaked shirt behind in the bathroom. He used their toilet and didn't even bother to flush. At some point he lay down and slept on the couch, his victims lying dead just feet away. By morning, the killer was gone. Later that day, Yasuko's mother arrived at the house after she couldn't reach her daughter by phone. She opened the door and stepped inside. What she found was a nightmare. Her daughter, her son-in-law, and her grandchildren brutally murdered in their own home. She called police immediately, setting in motion one of the largest investigations in Japanese history. The crime scene was unlike anything investigators had ever seen. The killer left behind more than a dozen fingerprints. Footprints tracked through the rooms. Blood, both his and the victims, spattered everywhere. He had even worn the family's house slippers, leaving a clear trail. And there were more bizarre clues. Sand was found inside the house, later matched to a skate park near Yokota Air Base, used by locals and U.S. service members. Investigators recovered a hip bag sold only in Japan, Spain, and the United States. They found a sweatshirt manufactured in Korea. Just 130 were ever sold in Japan, and police tracked nearly every buyer, except one. The murder weapon told another story. The sashimi knife wasn't from the home. It had been purchased just weeks before the crime in Kashiwa City, Chiba Prefecture, about 20 miles away. Police tracked the sale of that exact style of Yanagaba sashimi knife. Only a handful had been sold, but even after interviewing customers, they never discovered who bought the one used to slaughter the Miyazawa family. DNA testing revealed something unusual. The killer's ancestry appeared mixed. On the paternal side, East Asian, possibly Korean. On the maternal side, Southern European, possibly from a region like Spain or Italy. His blood type was type A. Analysts even studied his diet through DNA markers, concluding he ate large amounts of sesame seeds and green beans, foods common in South Korea. It was the kind of evidence that should have made him easy to find. Instead, it became one of the greatest mysteries in Japanese history. Over the years, police tested more than 100,000 DNA samples. They interviewed thousands of people. They followed leads across borders, yet no match has ever been found. Investigators even searched for similar murders, hoping to link the killer to another case, but nothing matched. Other family murders in Japan during the 1990s had clear motives: robbery, personal grudges, domestic disputes. None involved a stranger who slaughtered a family and then lingered for hours in their home. The Setagaya massacre stood alone, an outlier in Japan's crime history. Theories began to spread. Some believed the killer was a transient, someone passing through Tokyo with no permanent ties. Others thought he might have been a foreign exchange student or a military service member stationed nearby. Some even speculated he had a personal grudge against the family, though no evidence supported that. Neighbors reported hearing a loud bang around 11:30 p.m., possibly Mikio falling down the stairs. Around the same time, a car was heard speeding away, but no reliable witness ever saw the killer leave. One detail troubled investigators most. The family lived right next to a park that was being redeveloped. Mikio had reportedly clashed with people over the project, but no solid link to the murders was ever found. Even today, more than 2 decades later, the Setagaya murders remain unsolved. The DNA, the fingerprints, the clothing, all the evidence that should have given this family justice has led only to silence. Investigators tested more than 100,000 DNA samples. They tracked every store receipt, every clothing sale, every possible suspect, and still, nothing. The killer seemed to leave a mountain of evidence behind, yet no name, no match, no trace of who he really was. It's as if he stepped out of the shadows, destroyed an entire family, and then vanished back into them. Every year on December 30th, neighbors and relatives gather outside the home to remember Mikio, Yasuko, Nina, and Rei. The house still stands, frozen in time, a chilling reminder of how one night of horror can destroy an entire family and leave a nation haunted. This is Decades in the Dark, where science brings the past to light. Subscribe for more stories where justice never expires.